It's been a wild ride. Ups.
And like, I'm not gonna fuck around in this video, I'm not gonna joke in this video, I'm being serious. Like, this is fucking history.
And downs.
Rock bottom, please. Rock bottom.
Highs. And lows. But every ride, it has to come to an end. I've blown up. Not financially, but mentally. The haters were right. Maybe I am a fat retarded dreamer with no friends, and it was a matter of time before the passion ran dry. I've got to tell Sarah, unless she's already left. Sarah? Sarah, you're still here. Kind of dying, but still here. I'm sorry that I forgot about you. I got caught up in the hundreds and thousands of views on YouTube and the huge money that came with it. It's like $3 a day. But remember when we started out? The good old times? We were like Mario and Luigi. Now we're more like Bonnie and Clyde. I know, Sarah, I'm sorry, I have failed you. But can you forgive me? Can you forgive me, Sarah?
No, I can't.
I just can't let Sarah down. I can't let the plant down.
You already have.
Let's hold hands. Let's continue that dream.
Plant murder.
One last shot. All we've got. Baby, we were born to run, Sarah. Born to run.
Welcome back, guys. Stephen Johnson Stocks. This is my worst month ever. And I've never had such a good knowledge of the market, but I've just lost a bit of discipline a couple of weeks ago with PLUG, lost 500, and then this week like that I was down a couple of $100, 220 bucks, recovered some of it to not be down as much, but just a lack of discipline, and I've addressed it and I'm working on it, but I don't want to go too much into it because you'll see in the Excel and stuff like that, but I just wanted to make that little video in the earlier section just to show you the ride, the memories, the fact that you guys have been there throughout it all, and sometimes you've got to look back and think, well, where was I 6 months ago and where am I now and where will I be in the next 6 months, and think it is a long process. I will be here forever. Let's just go through some tweets and then we'll get into the action. Samuel Martinez, Heineken Eric Rocks, I'm a doer. Awesome, man. I love it when I see people binge watching the videos. Collis, Dunwoody, lol, it's crazy how we all make newbie mistakes. Did the same thing. He warns not to chase and then you chase because of fear of missing out. Yeah, I did this big time this week. Damon Rowe, hi mate, what country are you in? I'm in Dubai. You should know this if you watch the videos. I can see wholeheartedly you believe and are trying your guts out. Do you think you're going to make it? No, I don't. I'm just trying my guts out because I believe I'm going to fail. Of course, of course I believe I'm going to make it. And but in terms of study time now, I'm not I wouldn't say trying guts out. I get 3-4 hours of market time in every day, 8 hours on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and I'll try and get like maybe an hour in or something like that. I mean, I'm in Stocks to Trade Pro now, so I'm like literally with Tim Bone like 3 times a day for an hour each time. I'd say I do about an hour of study on top every day. Not like the 15-hour days obsessively like I used to, because kind of I feel like I have enough knowledge now, and if I just stick to being disciplined, I can be profitable. But in the first 6-9 months, it was like insane, like 10 hours a day, as much as I possibly could when I wasn't at work. And even when I was at work, it was 5 hours a day, on top 4 hours a day. But that's about it. Let's go into the stats. I'll see you later. So it looks like a terrible month, and it is a terrible month. And you could make excuses and say, oh, well, in the afternoons it's been slow, and that's when I mainly trade, and it just hasn't worked out or whatever. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be straight up. Yeah, I mean, pretty worst month ever in terms of losses. And winning percentage, I mean, considering it's the worst month ever, it's not terrible. Winning 30% of trades, it's gone back to kind of where I was in January. And I took basically two of the biggest losses ever, INMP and Plug this month, with both in the top 5 biggest losses ever, and they both come from not cutting losses quickly. And I was very, very, very good at cutting losses, and somewhere this month I just stopped doing it, and I don't know why, but I've kind of identified it now, and I've realized. And I think it's because as I was learning more and more, I started thinking, I can do this, and I can try this way to stop, and that way to stop. When I see other traders and how they trade, and that just doesn't work for me. I've got to cut the losses quickly until I'm really consecutively making money and sticking to the plan. Because, I mean, in reality, looking at the last 9 trades, 80, like if you add it up, 80 PT, 60 bucks, lost, give back about 15. This is including commissions, so that's like 45 up, then 46 up. Get back to this. NADL, say I'm 46 up, 56, 66 up, like 100 up. And then with this as well, that's 115 up, and then 95 up if I take this off, 85 up, let's say. So I'm literally 85 bucks up on the week had IMNP not happened. And this is playing with small size, including commissions. So even if IMNP, if I'd have just cut it, when I should have done and took a $50 loss, say, I would have still been up on the week like 30, 40 bucks. Playing small size and getting eaten by commissions, I would have still been up. So I have to cut losses quick. And in terms of patterns that work, I see the U-shape breakout works every time. I mean, it failed once at lunchtime. This U-shape 5-minute break, it's constantly working. Ascending triangles on multi-day breakouts, even intraday, if it's a low float and it's a semi-good chart long term, it works. Or it works 66% of the time. So just sticking to what works for me, and I can try different patterns, but fuck, cut the losses immediately if it doesn't work out. Don't try a random pattern and then let it fail and then hold on to it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So I don't even care about having rules next month. The only one rule I want to have is cutting losses quickly. That's it. I don't care about any other rules. Just cut losses quickly. So IMNP was just another massive fail. And in terms of the last 2 months, I mean, if we can go back to a year, I mean, it's got a history of running. It's gapping up. You don't really see it often fail on the first day. I mean, going back a year, I haven't really... When it does gap up, it seems to hold its highs. I mean, this time it gapped up and had a little spike even. Yeah, I mean, as it gaps up, I don't really see it failing on the first day. This had a little spike and failed. I mean, maybe here, but still, I mean, you had from the 11s to the 12s, it was still $1 or whatever it was, because I think it's done so many reverse splits. And from today, I was watching this pre-market, and I was thinking, this looks familiar. I mean, it's kind of an ABCD. You've got the A, then the B, then the C, and then it's away. But I was interested in it because I was thinking, this has got good volume. It's a reverse split. It's a low float. It'll be on everyone's radar. Why not get in on the 4 break? Because it seems to be consolidating, and then you've got risk on like 375 worst case scenario. You're only going to lose 25 cents. And you can see with the amount of volume it had the potential to run. And I thought, do you know what it is? It's not part of my patterns. It's not one of my rules. So I'm just skip it. And then I was like, oh, should I try and get in that in the 430s? I was like, no, you've missed it now. And I was like, should I get in the 450s? And I was like, no, you've missed it now. And then being completely out of control, I thought, right, it's breaking pre-market highs. It looks like it can run. And I bought in like pretty much in the 490s, anticipating a 5 break. And then it slammed back down immediately. And I thought, you know what it is? I can get out in the 470s. There's no worry. Then it came down to the 450s. And I was like, I've seen a lot of stocks move red to green this week. And then it just didn't ever look like it was going to go to red to green. Shorts piled in, and I cut it down here in the 4s, which is just horrendous. It's definitely one of the worst trades I've ever made, ever. And if I'd cut it in the 450s, cut it in the 460s, had so much time to do it, I could have even cut it in the 480s and took like a 20-cent loss. That's it. But I was stubborn, and I paid a massive price for it. So NADL, it massive gapper, huge runner. I think this one was on a big contract win. But obviously once it got massively overextended, remember this thing's up from 80 cents. Shorts will pile in because it's overvalued 4 times. Not overvalued, but it's 4 times what it previously was. And you've got all the long-term shorts holding. Because a number of shorts love shorting into these massive spikes once they get overextended. And then we had the little bounce here, and then there's a reversal because obviously shorts are thinking this, if this cracks like the 167s, it can go down to the 130s, and then maybe it'll go down to back to the 80s. So people are holding, anticipating the crack. But fortunately, there was a kind of a reversal, and the same thing happens when a stock drops too much, it bounces. It's like a penny stock and framework pattern. And I recognize this. I could see that there will be shorts, long-term shorts getting squeezed. There will be momentum buyers. It is off the back of kind of good news. So I was just in and out of this constantly. So, I mean, when I took the loss on IMNP, thank God I just got out of the house, went to the beach, came back, which was good because last time I lost even more being stupid unplugged. So that's one positive. But I was just in and out this all the time. I was waiting for a pullback. I think this first pullback here is in the 70s, back out in the 80s. Then I was back in the low 80s, back out in the 90s. Because I was worried it wouldn't break through, and it didn't. And then I started watching it on a 5-minute chart. And I was hoping for a 5-minute U-shaped pattern, but we never kind of saw it come off. I jumped in here, like 286, risk off the 280s, thinking it could U-shape round because it was a strong stock in the morning. But when it dropped, I just cut it, took the loss. And it was, I mean, again, this is the thing, like this isn't a pattern that I'd normally consider, but it's something I've seen before. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to just not take the trade. And this is where I get a bit funny with rules, because I think having rules kind of cost us more than they didn't. But the most important rule is to cut losses quickly. That is number one. And I think if you've got that rule and you don't overtrade, then you've got a much better chance of success. Because sometimes I think you should. If you really see something and it really feels right, you should take it and cut your loss quick and stick to the plan.
So that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed the highlights of idiocy, but I see it as progress, believe it or not. I see it as learning. I know with trading it's often 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and I'm grateful that I have enough knowledge to identify patterns that work. I'm disappointed that I forgot the number 1 rule of cutting losses quickly. And I will leave you guys with that to comment below, cutting losses quickly, because if you learn anything through watching the series and shows, it's that it's important to have a plan. You have to cut your losses immediately. And for me, I'm battling myself at the moment. I'm battling my ability to keep control of the emotional side of things. And because the technical things is not, I don't know everything, but I think I know enough to get by, and I will learn more with the market, but it's just cutting losses quickly. I'll see you later.